All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, I don't know if you heard this expression throughout your life, fake it till you make it. And fuck that. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion on that one. And I think years ago it was a big thing because, at least when I grew up with a lot of guys, they're like, fake it till you make it, man. If they don't know you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. If they think you're successful, they're going to want to be around you and help you become more successful. Also, like if you fake it till you make it, you get around a certain amount of people that are successful again. And here's the thing, I get where it's kind of coming from, but I personally think the worst thing in life in general is to fake anything. I really do. You get exposed. I'm telling you right now. Especially with social media, especially now more than ever, everybody kind of knows everyone through someone. Before, maybe you could fake it till you make it, before social media to a certain degree. Because, if you didn't, you could kind of go in certain groups and nobody knew anybody. But now you become friends with somebody immediately. It could be Facebook, could be LinkedIn, could be whatever. Twitter, whatever the case may be, we're all exposed. We are all exposed. And if you don't expose yourself, somebody may also expose you. Now, if you go entirely off the grid, that may be okay, I think, to a certain degree. But that's really hard nowadays, to go entirely off the grid. And again, even if you are off the grid, that doesn't mean other people don't talk shit about you or have access to you and whatever the case may be. But I do get, though, back to the fake it till you make it stuff, as far as wanting to, be something or go after something and not having the resources to do it or get around people that are actually doing it. What I would highly recommend is not faking it, is being 100% truthful. I've realized throughout my life, the more truthful I was, the more successful I became, and the more people wanted to be around me. Even my YouTube or my podcast, if you listen to it, it's we call it a no-nonsense type thing, but I tell you the way it is. I'm not sitting here sugarcoating. I could care less, really, to a certain degree, what you think about me or not. I love to help people, but if you're like, you're a jagoff or you're an asshole, what am I supposed to do? I mean, opinions are like assholes. We all have them. But back to being honest, taking an honest approach, I get a lot of times, too, when you are honest, that some people may shit on you, especially like when I was in the film industry. If you didn't have all these credits or you didn't get on IMDb or you didn't do this or that, people don't want to talk to you. Hey, that's the world you're in. And going there and being like, hey, I'm a first-time filmmaker. I'm just trying to do this and blah, blah, blah. They're like, get the hell out of here. I get it. Because it's very hard for even people on the other end to believe in you if you haven't done anything. I mean, I get it. You could tell them everything about you and how hard it is, your struggles, you've been writing for years. Who gives a shit? Bottom line is they got to make money. They don't survive. Their job's on the line just like anybody else's a lot of times, but people don't think about it that way. But if you do want to make it, taking an honest approach and just working hard and being consistent or working towards that and understanding it's going to take a lot of time. I think the fake it till you make it guys usually are, I can't say flash in the pants, but they want things fast and quick. And sometimes, let's face it, shit like that works. I'm not going to say that there's not a million posers out there, or actually that started off posers, that ended up successful because they faked it till they made it. Hey, good for you. If you want to do that, do whatever the hell you want to do. I tell people all the time, you got to do what works best for you. But as far as me, I also think when, fake it till you make it, or just trying to get around certain people or accomplish certain things again, it's a lot of times when you are starting off and you just keep getting rejected. Next, right? And I always say next, no means yes, or whatever, all that type of shit, whatever. It's hard. It's really hard to constantly get rejected regarding anything. And you're probably maybe one of those. You may be getting rejected at work. You may be getting rejected in relationships. You may be getting, all these different types of things, and you don't have an answer. And faking it till you make it may sound like a pretty decent answer. Hey, if I pretend like I'm something I'm not necessarily, maybe they'll take me in, and until maybe they'll never figure me out, and then eventually I will become successful, and then I'll just kind of flow right in with everyone, which happens, like I said. That's a lot of stress, I think, that I don't have the patience for. I also think a lot of people, which they don't talk about, get busted with the fake it till they make it. And then they kind of ruin their credibility, especially within small communities, which a lot of people think everything's kind of a lot bigger than it is. But when you really break a lot of things down, I don't care what industry you're in, a lot of people, again, know people. And when you come off as a fake it till you make it, or you keep lying and trying to bullshit your way through a lot of different things, word spreads. Not only that, people underestimate how other people realize how full of shit they are. A lot of people think they're pulling a fast one on a lot of people, and they do. But then you also have a lot of people out there looking at you like you're an asshole, because most likely you are. Sometimes, not always, but a lot. If you're faking it and you're lying and you're doing all that stupid shit, trying to manipulate certain things to get basically what you want out of it, and that doesn't mean you're not going to help the other people, but for the most part, when you're kind of a faker, you're really looking out for yourself, which is understandable. But a lot of times those dudes get exposed. They don't realize they're exposed because everybody behind their back and everywhere else is saying, hey, that guy's a goof, he's a phony, he's stupid, he's whatever the hell, I don't know what. But that's not what you want, I would think, in life, especially long term. And again, you can do whatever you want. If one advice I'd give, though, is if you want to do something, or being around a certain type of person or a certain type of business, is just work your way in as honest as possible. And I call it death spirit, because people, a lot of times when they want to do something, they become desperate, which is death. Things are going to take time. I don't give a shit who you are. Maybe out of a fluke something can happen for you very quickly. But for the most part, you breaking into any group of people or any industry, building up some momentum, maybe money and all these type of things, takes time, right? It also takes somebody who's smart and savvy. A lot of people aren't that sharp. I'm going to tell you right now, we always hear about, or you hear about all these successful people that are worth a lot of money and do a lot of things. I'm not saying they're all geniuses by any means. And I'm not saying they're all the sharpest tool in the shed. But a lot of them, one way or another, were savvy. And I don't know if they got their money from their parents, or I don't know if they made a lot of money doing whatever, or if it was luck. But again, with somebody trying to break in a little bit, if you don't have maybe what they have or didn't get what they got, it might be time to really just, slow increments, I believe, in building up strong relationships. Because a lot of times all it takes is one or two people to really change your life. It's the truth, the reality of it. And most likely it's going to take someone else or multiple people in different events to happen for you to most likely succeed or get to where you want to be. It's not usually one thing. It's multiple things. It's maybe multiple meetings. It's maybe multiple flights, multiple emails, multiple phone calls. Whatever the case may be, it's a journey, and it's long usually. And life is boring a lot. I tell people, you watch movies and shit, and in an hour and a half or 2 hours, somebody went from nothing to a millionaire, and all these things, or you read about, these success stories. A lot of times you don't realize there were 10, 20, 30 years in the making. Same with athletes. A lot of times you look at an athlete, and he's making this amount of money or whatever. He's been doing it his entire life. He dedicated his life to one thing a lot of times. So just like you, if you want something, dedicate yourself to it. And I wouldn't fake it. I would just be genuine and try to do the best job I can, get around the most honest people, and also learn to listen, is what I would say more than anything. And a lot of people are doing things wrong in their life, including me and a lot of others. You got to figure out what's right for you, because a lot of times I talk about it, most people are doing things wrong. That's why they're not succeeding. Trying to get around people, though, that will help you and guide you. And sometimes you may or may not have to pay for that. I don't know. But don't be taken advantage of. But, you may need to be coached, right? You may need advisors. And a lot of times those are not easy to come by. But I've realized, too, a lot of people, you can get around a lot of successful people. That doesn't mean that they're going to help you become successful or make you successful. That's on you. So just something to definitely think about regarding that. But I would never fake it till you make it. That's just a saying. I heard it the other day again. And again, I was like, get the fuck out of here with your bullshit. Anybody comes to me, I'm going to tell you right now, who cares who I am? But I'm just saying, regarding a lot of things, I look at things like this too. Look at things as like really maturing and kind of mastering your craft. If you're good at what you do, man, they will not ignore you. I promise you. And if you look at a professional athlete, that's one thing in this life that I always realize you cannot fake. Okay? You cannot fake being a professional NFL player. Hockey, baseball, football, I don't care if it's soccer, tennis, whatever. Say in the entertainment industry, you got good and bad actors, you know that. Some writers, good and bad, it depends. All that shit. Same with work. A lot of different, just because you have, all these different companies, some are successful, as you know, and then some go bankrupt. Tons of them. You think they're great, they're not. All these different types of things. But back to just one thing. If you look at a professional athlete, you cannot fake that. You cannot fake it for 1 second. Okay, you can't even most likely most people can't even get out of high school, right? Getting to college, you have to be elite in college. To become a professional athlete is just unbelievable. You get exposed in a second, your weaknesses. And I think that's what happens with a lot of other people that fake it till you make it. Slowly but surely, you get exposed. The people realize you're not that sharp. You don't know what you're talking about. You're kind of lying a lot. You're full of shit. Your backstory sounds ridiculous. You're not as educated as you in whatever areas you say you are. You're just not that good at what you're doing. Or you're trying to jump into it too quickly. All these things. But if you kind of look at yourself as a professional athlete, you want to be elite, make yourself elite. Then there's no way that you shouldn't succeed. All right. If you get a chance, check out my richcelenza.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All right? Take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.